What's up? It's Patrick Wilson. We are back with another video, and today we are talking about how to build muscle without also gaining fat. And today we are recording this video inside of my apartment, and the reason for this is that my roommate is currently not here, and normally I don't want to distract him with me talking. He's over there working on the computer, trying to watch Netflix, trying to do whatever he's doing, and I'm out here just yelling at the camera, or talking in a good solid voice. But anyway, he's not here right now. He's out and about doing his thing. So you know what I do when he leaves the apartment? Not have someone come over and Netflix and chill. I record YouTube videos. So here we are, talking about how to build muscle without gaining too much fat. Let's get it popping. So the order that we're gonna go with this video, because you know your boy likes to stay organized and keep you in the loop about how this video is gonna go and flow and roll, we're gonna go through 5 different sections. The first section we're talking about is how you actually build muscle. The second section is gonna be how you gain fat so that you can know what to do to avoid gaining fat. And those first 2 are gonna be more quick summary type of things. I'm not gonna go super in depth because we're kind of gonna get into it with these next 3 different sections we're gonna touch on. So those are gonna be nice, quick cliff note, spark note versions of those. All right, the third one, like the video, subscribe to my channel. It greatly helps the YouTube algorithm so more and more humans can see my videos, and then I can keep making more videos and helping more people, and they can get solid information and, you know, all that fun stuff. But seriously, if you're watching this video, I sincerely appreciate you. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will absolutely love you forever. All right, the real number 3. This next section that we're gonna start to get more in depth about is the workout side of things. What you should do with your workouts in order to maximize your time there and throughout the week in order to build the most muscle and keep off fat. The 4th one is nutrition. What should you do with nutrition exactly so that you don't gain a bunch of body fat, but also can, you know, make some gains out here on these streets. And then the 5th one, probably the most important one with anything in life, but especially the fitness goals, is your mindset and how you approach this stuff. The mental side of it, literally anything in life, is the most challenging and difficult part oftentimes. You can have all the information of like how to do it, what to do with workouts, what to do with nutrition, and then if you don't know what to do in your head and you're not going to follow through with that stuff and know the confidence to continue doing it and patience to do it, then it's just not gonna happen. You're not gonna make progress. So, with all that being said, let us get into the real deal sections right now, starting off with how to build muscle. Let's get it. All right, how to build muscle. The quick summary version of this. We won't go super in depth because it's all gonna kind of tie in at the end, but just to give you an idea of how you actually build muscle. So it comes down to a few things. Number 1 is you actually need to be lifting or strength training. When you first get started, that can be using a band, using light dumbbells, using just your body weight. Even as you continue to progress and get more advanced with your lifting fitness journey, you can continue building muscles with some of those things, but not nearly as much as if you have access to a decent amount of weights or relatively challenging weights for you, whether it be dumbbells, barbells, machines. So that's the most important thing, is that number 1, you're not gonna build muscle unless you are stimulating your body, stimulating your muscles to actually grow. You can't, you know, build them up. You have to tear them down to build them back up. So that's the number 1 priority to build muscle, is to actually be lifting weights or doing some kind of strength resistance training, kind of depending on where you're at with the journey, but you got to lift weights. Number 2, you have to get in enough protein. You need to get in at least 0.6 grams per pound of body weight. So multiply your body weight times 0.6. That is the minimum. And then especially when building muscle, I would say at the most you want to be at around 1.1 grams per pound of body weight. So multiply your body weight by 1.1. That's probably the upper end. If you get in more protein than that, it's not the end of the world, and it can be helpful if you're trying to lose fat. But protein is just very filling. So if you get way more than that, then it's going to be hard to do the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is the 3rd thing, getting in enough calories to actually build muscle. Your body needs energy in order to fuel just life in general, but also fuel the potential to build muscle, fuel your workouts that are going to help you build more muscle. So you need to be getting in enough calories in order to actually put on muscle. But again, if you're taking in way too much protein and you're overly full and you're like, bro, I'm not ready to eat anymore, I don't want to eat anymore, no more food, no, then yeah, you shouldn't have that much protein at those extremes so you can get in enough calories. And that's going to kind of transition to the next thing, which is how do you gain fat exactly then? Just moving on down the couch here. It's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. So how you gain fat? You gain fat by being in too much of a calorie surplus. Now we're gonna kind of get into that a little bit more, but basically when you are in a calorie surplus, it means that you're taking in more calories than your maintenance amount of calories. So maintenance calories are when you take in a certain amount of calories and you stay the same body weight, you don't change at all. This is just kind of, again, leaving you maintained. This is your maintenance amount. So if you take in more calories than that, then you're in a surplus. And if you take in way too many calories beyond this maintenance amount and beyond the surplus of calories that are going to go to building more muscle, that extra surplus is gonna go to you gaining more fat. So basically when you gain fat, it's when you're taking in more calories than your body is burning from just being a normal living human being, the fidgets you do throughout the day, and then also your activity through workouts, and then your body repairing and rebuilding more muscle. So if you take in more calories than is needed for all of that action, then it will be stored as fat. And we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible, and that's what we're talking about in this video. So just wanted to give you an idea of how you actually build muscle, just the overview of it, and then we're gonna get into the nitty gritty with workouts, nutrition, mindset, and then also telling you how you gain fat.
So with that said, we're going to get into the workout section now. Let's get it popping.
All right, the lifting side of things and working out side of things, what you should do with that. This is the third section. We're gonna get kind of into the nitty gritty now, all right? Now I got 5 main points within this section. So we got subsections within the section, okay? All right, so number one thing, you need to be lifting weights. We established that, and you should be lifting weights at least 3 times per week. Ideally, this would be closer to 5. I said ideally, that's funny. Ideally, this would be closer to 5 days per week. I would say at max lift 6 days per week. If you're more advanced, you really enjoy it, you wanna make a lot more gains, and you have a proper lifting routine and schedule, 6 days can work. Get at least 1 rest day in. But 3 minimum, 3 to 5 is like the really good sweet spot you wanna aim for. Number 2, within those lifts, you wanna focus on compound exercises. These are gonna be exercises where you're working 2 or more muscle groups at the same time. Like if you're doing bench press, you're working your chest, your triceps. You can get a little shoulder and back action in there, but mostly chest and triceps. So same thing with like squats. It's like you're working your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings a little tiny bit. Even your core is being worked when you do squats. So you want to focus most of your lifting workouts on compound exercises because these are going to allow you to get the most bang for your time. If you're working 2 muscle groups at a time, then you can cut down the amount of time you need to be in the gym if you're just doing the other type of exercise, which is an isolation exercise where it's just 1 muscle group at a time. So you basically can cut your time in half in a sense, I guess you could say. And then also with compound exercises, since you are using 2 muscle groups at a time, you can get stronger easier with those movements. So you're gonna be able to go up in weight, do more reps, do those things quicker compared to if you're just doing isolation exercises and it takes a little bit longer to get better and stronger. So just with those 2 things, it's super valuable to do compound exercises. So compound exercises are really the key to build more muscle and also keep your metabolism running pretty quickly so that you don't gain as much body fat. The third thing, so now that you're lifting, focusing on compound exercises, the next main thing is that you want to be pushing to get better pretty much each workout you do, at least each week, each month in some capacity. So if you're just going in doing the same exact workout, same exercises, same reps, same weight, same everything, you're going to reach a point where you just hit a stagnation. You're gonna stagnate. You're gonna reach a point where you hit a plateau. You're not gonna get any better. So when you're working out and lifting, doing compound exercises, you want to keep pushing to get better, stronger every single workout you're doing in some way. And this is what we like to refer to as progressive overload. When you're progressively overloading your muscles, your body with more and more weight or more and more reps, just progressively getting better in some way over time. Now, this is extremely important. There are different ways that you can approach lifting workouts as far as getting in a bunch more reps or trying to lift heavier or whatever the case may be. But overall, you just want to be trying to get progressively better than you were the previous week. So for example, say you bench pressed 215 pounds for 3 sets of 6 last week. These are just arbitrary numbers. This coming week, you want to aim to get 3 sets of 7 or 8 reps with 215 pounds, or you want to do 220 pounds with bench press for 3 sets of 6 reps. So going up in weight a little bit or going up in reps a little bit, and you want to just gradually keep improving and getting better over time. The fourth thing You want to do some cardio. Now, too much cardio, if you're just like out here running marathons and craziness, then it's gonna make it really hard to get in enough calories to actually rebuild the muscle and actually be in enough of a surplus. Kind of going back to the point of what it takes to build muscle, you need to get enough calories in, but you can also burn too many calories, which most people don't do. Like, it's really hard. It's not hard to do that, but it's just, you need to be aware that you're not burning too many calories, basically. And so you still want to do some cardio so that you can keep your metabolism up a little bit on a day-to-day basis. And not really your metabolism, but it just helps to burn a few additional calories day to day. And by a few, depending on how much cardio you do, like 50 to 100 extra calories burnt. But then the most important thing is that it's good for your heart health. So cardiovascular is your heart. So you want to make sure that you're overall a healthy human. And then also when your cardiovascular health is up, it's going to help with the lifting side of things, which is going to help you build more muscle. When you're just overall in better shape and getting lifting workouts, it's going to make it easier to push yourself with more reps and push yourself with supersets you're doing, push yourself a lot, and it just translates that way. So doing some cardio, whatever you'd like to do, is perfectly fine. You just need to be aware that you need to get in plenty of calories and make sure that you're not way overdoing it, because then it's possible it becomes very, very challenging. More challenging. The fifth thing, you need to make sure you work your legs. Now, I know if you are a young woman, a female, a woman watching this, you're like, of course I'm gonna work my legs. Or most women would. It's a generalization and stereotyping, and I apologize if you don't. But most women want to grow their glutes. They want to have their legs look better and more toned. Whereas guys, stereotypically, are focused on their upper body and having the arms popping, shoulders popping, chest popping, back popping, all that type of stuff. And legs get neglected sometimes. So whoever you are, whatever you identify with, make sure that you are working your legs still. And the reason behind this is that when you're working your legs have the potential to build the most muscle, because they're the biggest muscle group in your body. Like, glutes are a big muscle group. Quads are a big muscle group. Hamstrings are pretty big. Like, when you think about even your hamstring compared to your bicep or tricep, like, bro, your hamstring is big. So if you're building more muscle there, it's gonna help you improve your metabolism a lot, which is gonna help you and make it easier to not put on that much extra fat. Now, I can get into super nitty-gritty specifics with it, but that's all I'm gonna dive into, that side of things. Work your legs helps to increase your metabolism, also helps you to look your best, feel your best, and yeah, would definitely focus on that if you're trying to build muscle without gaining too much fat. All right, my left arm is getting too much attention, so I gotta like switch it up a little bit so my right arm can kind of look swole. I can like put my right arm closer to the camera to make it look even more swole. But the next section we're gonna go through is the nutrition side of things, and this is gonna be really important. All workouts and nutrition, in my opinion, are very equally important. Like, in order to build muscle, you need to be making sure that you are getting better in the gym and like really concentrating on those things. But nutrition obviously determines how you're gonna look and how relatively lean you can stay as you're building muscle. So this is another big time pillar in this whole process. All right, same thing with this. We got subsections within the section. So let's get it popping. But the first little subsection is getting in enough protein. Now, again, we pretty much already covered this with the amount you need to get in, so I'm not gonna dive over that again, but just make sure that you're still getting in enough protein. It's helpful to rebuild muscle, helpful to recover from workouts, and just absolutely necessary to gain muscle. The second thing, which I think is super helpful, is tracking your calories. Losing body fat or gaining weight, gaining muscle, it's all pretty much a numbers game at the end of the day. If you're not super analytical, I almost relate it to tracking your finances and expenses. Like, even if you're not super analytical, but you want to budget better, you're gonna track your expenses and your money to make sure you know where it's going. So it's the same kind of thing with the fitness side of things. You want to see what you're taking in, what you're eating on a regular basis, and then you can make adjustments to what you are eating on a daily basis based on what your goals are. So for example, if you want to build muscle without gaining too much fat, you don't want to take in way too many calories that you're just going to be adding much fat, but you don't want to be taking in so little of calories that you're not going to be gaining any muscle. So this is where tracking calories becomes very helpful. So the third thing off of this is that you want to be getting in a certain amount of calories more than your maintenance amount of calories. So we kind of talked about where your maintenance was, and there are different ways you can find this out, where your maintenance amount is. Normally it's anywhere between, if you multiply your body weight by 13 to 14, it's somewhere in that range normally. And there are like endless different ways you can figure this out. That's just like one of the quickest ways you can kind of guesstimate and be like, it's around this amount, like 12 to 14, I would say. Body weight in pounds multiplied by 12 to 14, probably somewhere around there. And then from there, once you have your maintenance amount of calories, then this is where you are going to add in more calories. Normally, if you want to be in a slight surplus to build a little bit of muscle without gaining too much fat. So if you're just brand new to lifting and working out, I would say that you should probably just be at around your maintenance amount the first like 3 to 4 months when you first start lifting, because you're gonna be able to completely change your body and build muscle, and also probably lose some body fat at that point in time. And or if you've like taken some time off from lifting and you're going to rebuild more muscle, I would say be it around maintenance, or maybe even like a slight deficit if you want to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. But if you were at the point 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, or have been lifting for an extended period of time and want to build muscle without gaining too much fat, then you do need to be in a slight calorie surplus. It doesn't need to be super crazy, and you don't want to do a crazy, dirty, insane bulk where you're just literally eating everything in sight and using the excuse that you are bulking as a reason to eat all foods and gain a bunch of body fat. So if you are just new to lifting, you can get away with having about 300 to 400 calories over that maintenance amount. So calculate the maintenance, then add another 300 to 400 calories, and you're gonna be able to build mostly muscle without gaining too much fat at around that amount. If you've been in this lifting game for a while and you have already built a decent amount of muscle, then I would say that you wanna take your maintenance amount of calories and add in about 100 to 200 calories. And then with that, it's all about adjusting. So you can give yourself some, estimate of where you should start out from, but that's really all it is. Take that estimate, run with it, execute it for 2, 3, 4 weeks, see the progress you make. Say you're gaining a little bit too much body fat too quickly, reduce calories a little bit. Say that after 2, 3, 4 weeks, you have not gained really any weight in the scale, you're not looking better in progress pictures, you actually look like you're losing some body fat, which you probably are going to potentially look better, but it's maybe not exactly what your goals are. Then from there, increase calories a little bit. So it's all about adjusting after you have a kind of set goal in mind, and not just being upset if that specific area you start off with, the amount of calories you start off with doesn't work out for you after 2, 3, 4 weeks, because this is a long game. It takes time, and we're going to get into that. And so with those two things being said, that you shouldn't just eat whatever you want at all times, and also knowing that it's a long game, we're going to transition into our last section of the day, which is the mindset side of things. So let's get it popping. My man bun is still going strong. Love it. All right, the mindset side of things. Now this, again, is probably the most important part of this whole video, the most important part of your journey, your fitness journey, your goals. Again, you know the deal. Different little subsections within this section. Let's do it. So number one, again, just because you are doing a bulking phase or a muscle building phase doesn't mean you should just eat everything in sight. And this comes down to your mindset. Just because you have a chance that you can use an excuse to be kind of lazy with the goals does not mean you should be lazy. Keep your foot on the gas. You now know kind of how you should approach it. Stay focused on what you want to accomplish. If you want to build muscle without gaining much fat, you need to be focused in, especially with the nutrition side of things, and make sure you're just not going crazy and using "I'm bulking, I'm building muscle" as an excuse to eat whatever you want. Number two, you have to push yourself in the gym. I know a lot of people that they can go lift, they can go do compound exercises, but when it comes to pushing themselves past their comfort zones and getting out of their just box that they've put themselves in with the amount of weight they can do, reps they can do, they struggle with that. So every single time you're in the gym, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm not saying you should go in and be like, today I'm gonna go try to squat 405 pounds when your previous max amount that you're comfortable with is 225 pounds. But I am saying that you should go in and try to attack that next workout session. If you did 225 for squats last week, this week, go for 230. Those slight incremental jumps add up so much over the long term, and you're gonna get more comfortable with those smaller jumps compared to going up by 15, 20 pounds trying to do that every workout, and then you fail at it, and then you get down on yourself, and then maybe you don't want to keep going back to the gym, or you have a negative disposition about it the next time you go. So small jumps, incremental jumps, but that's still pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Do it in a responsible way with good form, but keep trying to push to get better all the time. Number three, you have to be okay with not having the perfect six-pack this entire process. If you really want to build muscle, you know what the benefits of building muscle are. You're going to eventually, when you do another fat loss phase, you're gonna look really, really good, because you're gonna be taking away all the extra a little bit of extra fat that you gained and be looking amazing, but you're gonna be looking leaner and amazing with more muscle, which then is gonna be better for you because you're gonna look even better than you did before, and your metabolism is gonna be higher, which means that you can work in more foods and life will be more enjoyable while you looking good. It's a win-win for sure. But this stage of the process, yes, you want to build muscle without gaining a bunch of fat, but it's important to know that you probably aren't going to have the perfect six-pack this entire time, and you're likely going to gain at least a little bit of extra body fat, and that is perfectly okay as long as you, again, keep in mind that it is a long-term thing. This stuff takes time. It's a long-term process with your fitness goals. If you want to build more muscle, know that putting on a little bit of extra body fat sometimes is part of the process. And the last thing, number 4 within this whole mindset game, fall in love with the process. This is such a long-term thing, especially if you are a natural lifter. And results, especially building muscle, just do not happen overnight. This stuff takes time. Give it at least 5, 6, 7 months, ideally up to like a year of just trying to put on muscle. It will seriously probably be the most impactful, beneficial thing you can do on your fitness journey as far as looking your best and also with just enjoying life more and your metabolism being higher. Take a substantial amount of time to build muscle. Know that it's a process. Know that you're going to be committed in this for an extended period of time. You are going to be so happy and look amazing and feel great. But fall in love with the process. It's cliche, it's corny, but it helps just to know that the actions you're taking day by day, you're really loving them. You're loving getting better with your workouts. You're loving executing with nutrition. Every single small win every day. Try to stack those up as you go on. And with that said, that is the conclusion of this video. Please, 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 please comment below. Let me know questions you got. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate you and love you more than Chipotle, love you more than LeBron, love you more than The Office. Shout out to Dunder Mifflin. I would love you forever. So yeah, do your thing. Let me know what I can do to help. And I hope you have a wonderful, marvelous, fantastic day. Peace and blessings. We will talk to you soon. Peace. Hey.